You feel like home.
What's up, everybody? I want to talk about fighting game content today. My name is Sen, welcome back to the channel, and very recently Brian F made a video on his Clips channel talking about a Reddit post about why more people don't make fighting game content, why people don't get into the scene, and I wanted to pitch my 2 cents as a smaller content creator. Like, I may have 1,000 subs, but I don't get paid, I'm not monetized, stuff like that. What kind of fighting game content do you most enjoy? And based on that answer, who do you watch for the type of FGC content you like? And thirdly, what is it about the content creator that you chose in question 2 that is so appealing for you? In most cases, I myself prefer discussion-based content because it gets my brain up and going. It gets me thinking about things because a lot of times I'm listening to content at work. I have YouTube Premium. I'm allowed to listen to stuff while I'm at work, so it helps me get through the day if my brain is engaged. With that, I'm kind of really your typical viewer of fighting games. You know, I watch Sajam, Diphone, Brian F. You know, I'll watch people doing documentaries about really good tournament runs or whatever. Anything engaging. You know, it all started with, I'm sure a lot of us, Core Gaming. Core Gaming was a huge channel that popped off. Man, I remember I think the first video I remember from Core Gaming was why graphics are important in fighting games. That was one of the ones that really kind of got me interested in that channel to begin with. Man, when I first started getting into fighting games, it was way different. The content creators I was getting into at the time were obviously playing Dragon Ball FighterZ a bunch. Players like Dado Doya and JM Cross were my first big step into the fighting game content space, and it's because they were playing the game that I like. And you know, I started to get into the tournament scene a little bit. I was watching people like Cloud805, Hook and God. The Summit of Power was probably my favorite tournament ever. Every so often I will go back and watch that tournament because it was just so godlike. It was just a room full of killers playing my favorite game, and dude, it was incredible. Peak Dragon Ball FighterZ era was my favorite time for fighting games, and honestly, I love the games that I'm playing now. I really enjoy them, but dude, the spark that I felt for Dragon Ball FighterZ, I was so wildly in love with this game back in its peak, around Season 1, Season 2, even into Season 3. But dude, yeah, my heart was on fire for the scene at the time. And then you learn about these other players, you know, commentators, and you start to learn the history as they talk. You know, the Summit of Power was one of the bigger reasons I learned about Yipes, and because of that, you know, I learned about the No Frills podcast, and that was, dude, some of my best content absorption time was listening to the No Frills podcast. Die, motherfucker! Bucket sauce on him. Oh, brother. I'm trolling. But yeah, as time went on and I kind of started to fade away from DBFC and I got into games like Guilty Gear and Street Fighter, that dramatically changed a little bit. You know, I was still watching those content creators, and I still do watch those content creators, but you know, I started watching a little bit more of players that were more invested into Guilty Gear and Street Fighter as I got into those games. So I was watching, yeah, Sajam, Brian F, Diphone. Yeah, Justin Wong definitely started coming up in my feed a lot more.
No, you're cheating.
You're gonna learn! This is the real world! You learn it early, son!
That's all you ever do in your house?
A different post I got into was why don't you stream or create content? I love fighting games and love to consume as much FGC related content as possible when I can. I'm also getting back into streaming and had plenty of reasons that kept me from getting back to it sooner. Thinking about it all made me want to know if there are similar people who faced or are facing roadblocks that stop them from making content or streaming. So the questions I have are, who here wants to stream or make content for fighting games specifically? And if you haven't started, what are the reasons that keep you from starting? Personally, I would be destroyed by my salary job that I just don't have the motivation or energy to stream or make content. That and the day-to-day life of a loving husband and father consume much of my free time. I have other small things, But those are my main two reasons. Would love to hear from y'all. Yeah, shout out the user Similar Raisin that created these posts. The bare minimum that you can do as far as like entry into making fighting game content or streaming or whatever it may be is just playing matches, and that's kind of a cardinal sin unless you are like one of the best in the world or an up and comer and people want to see you on the grind, or like you're developing some tech or something like that. You're working on these characters in very advanced ways. You're not going to have a lot of eyes on you. Because watching someone else play the game just isn't that interesting. Let's mess around a little bit. Let's play Ryu. I feel like we can mess around a bit with Ryu. Even you yourself said, like, you know, you're a busy individual. You know, a lot of people have families, full-time jobs, and by the time that they get home, they're spent. And I'm kind of on the back of that right now. I actually just got home from work just to make this video. You know, I had to take my dog out, feed him, all that stuff. And dude, I'm tired. Like, I want to take a shower and head to bed, but I also really wanted to make this video. Like, I felt some type of weird agency or urgency to make this video, and I just felt hyper compelled, so I wanted to get to it. But a lot of people don't have the spare energy. You know, in a weird way, fortunately, I'm single right now. I'm not really seeing anybody. I'm not really interested in anybody. And if you have other commitments outside of work, it makes it that much harder to get to. You know, if you are a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or a wife or whatever, and if you have kids, like, you know, that's just one more thing. Not that you don't enjoy those things, but, you know, it's like your hobbies take a back seat. Even then, that can be just with the baseline of just playing games and grinding online for content. In this day and age, that is not enough to get any kind of recognition if your goal is to like actually make a career out of this. Oh, brother, I'm going to have to... 12 wins? Oh, brother, hold on. I'm going to have to lock in. Excuse me. I had to. Ooh! He's a fucking genius, bro. God damn it. Yeah, first things first. People are busy. And if you don't have that energy to be entertaining to some capacity, whether that be like, there's three things that you need as a content creator, and it could be any variation of these three things, or it could be all three things, or you could be hyper proficient at one thing, and that is be knowledgeable, be skillful, or be entertaining. And the content creators at the top of the fighting game space are at least two of those things, if not all three of those things. You know, look at Sajam. Sajam's a great example. He is skillful, and he's also very knowledgeable. Now, he has a good personality too, but the content that he makes isn't inherently based around his personality exactly. A lot of it's discussion based. You know, same thing with Brian F. You know, the more you get to know about these content creators, the more their personality shines through, and you can recognize those moments. But the intrinsic value of their content is their skillfulness and their knowledge that they have, and being able to contextualize that to people of all skill levels. Now, the creme de la creme of content creators in the fighting game space is someone like a Maximilian, dude. You know, he's someone that superseded the content space. Max has 1.77 million subscribers, which is crazy. Especially with the niche that we're in, that is the fighting game space. You know, it, like, his content supersedes that, and it seeps its way into the casual audience. And like, the content that he produces is knowledgeable and entertaining. Max has a really good personality, and he is really good at conveying that, and he's very humorous, and like, you know, you can't help but to smile when you watch his stuff. That doesn't mean he's not skillful, but he's not like a top caliber player, and he recognizes that. He's very good. He would absolutely beat up on me. There's no doubt about that. Having the best gameplay is not why you go to Max. As an exercise, I want you to do that with your content creators that you watch. What about the content creators that you watch do you think the categories that they cover are? Do you think they're hyper entertaining? Do you think they're hyper knowledgeable? Or do you think they're very, very skilled? Spoiler alert, it's really hard to get by on that third one. Maybe if you're someone like a Sonic Fox or Punk, you know, you can get by on your skill alone, but even then their personality seeps through. Like, being a top player in the content creation space isn't enough. Now, I want you to take what I just talked about and apply it to yourself. If you were to start making content, what about yourself do you think you'd be bringing to the table? Are you a high caliber player? You could have that going for you. Are you really fucking funny and are you really good at editing? You could have that going for you. Or are you just incredibly knowledgeable? Knowledge is one of the things that you can really coast by with, because if you can make a good discussion narrative, you can get by on that alone. Editing is another aspect as well. Editing is very time consuming. Like, if you are doing more than just the basics, editing can take up a lot of time. You know, talk to some of the like really high production value editors, and like, you know, a lot of the content creators at the top have their own editors, so they don't have to worry about that aspect. But I guarantee you their editors are putting in that fucking time, man. Oh, you got hit? How? Oh, you landed right on it, baby. Sit on that thing. Let's go. Sit on that thing, baby. So if you take a look at my channel, it's a lot of discussion-based stuff, because I think fighting games are incredibly interesting. I have a lot of fun talking about them, and I don't get to talk about them in my day-to-day with normal people, because normal people just don't understand this shit, unfortunately. The only other thing I could potentially rely on is my personality. Hopefully you find the way I talk about things, or the way I joke about things, or whatever, charming enough that it keeps you invested while I talk about things that I find interesting. Obviously, the gameplay is not godlike. You have to give me a little bit of an excuse. You know, I literally just got home from work, so not even remotely warm. But it's because I, and a lot of people that make content that's also discussion-based, fell in love with what fighting games are. Like, when I first started making fighting game content, it was for Dragon Ball FighterZ, because I violently fell in love with that game. Like, in me becoming a fighting game content creator was an accident. Before I did anything related to fighting games, I was doing everything else. Like, I didn't have any interest in fighting games really, but you know, I played League of Legends. I made Let's Play videos. When I first started, I did the classic, hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my Call of Duty commentary. I'm like 16 years old. Surely you'll find what I have to talk about interesting. And when I first started making fighting game content, it was gameplay. It was me playing the online video game for Dragon Ball FighterZ. I was grinding ranked, this and the third, and you know, I was wondering like, why is nobody watching my stuff? Because there's a billion better people to watch. You know, you could watch high-level gameplay or people that are better, that are more interesting playing the game. Why would anybody watch me? You know, you can make really good titles and thumbnails, but if nobody knows who the fuck you are, what is it gonna do? That is one leg up that YouTube has over streaming, is because there is a certain blow up ability in the fighting game space that you can hit if you like hit the right niche at the right time, you make the right video, or people find your video interesting, or if your video gets shared. That's not gonna happen with streaming. I generally don't stream fighting game content because a majority of the content made for fighting games that is streamed is just playing the game. And if you're going to watch a stream of somebody playing the game, you're going to do one of a couple things. Probably two things. You're either going to watch who you're familiar with or who's popular in the category. Like, you're not going to do a lot of page scrolling. It's pretty rare that people do those things, just scroll to the bottom like, oh, like who's at the bottom that I can check out that has 0 viewers? Yeah, let me do that. If you want to stream fighting games and get popular, you need to build an audience elsewhere and transfer it over onto your Twitch. That's like probably the only way for actual growth. And it's going to come from like YouTube or TikTok or Instagram Reels, or whatever it may be. It has to be an external source, because there is no algorithm that will help blow someone up. Like, you can get a lucky raid, maybe, but if you're not ready for that raid, it's gonna do nothing. Stream the way you would for 0 or 10 viewers, the same way you would for 10,000 viewers. If you do get rated by, like, let's just say 50 or 100 people, and you're not ready for it, you're just fucking off, like, oh, I'm fucking opening Yu-Gi-Oh packs or some shit like that, I don't know. They're just gonna go somewhere else, man. So if you're just streaming you playing fighting games, it's a zero-sum game, man. Like, you're not really gonna get very far. You're not gonna get anywhere. Kinda, sort of the same thing with making content on YouTube for fighting games. If, like, you know, I already addressed, like, if you're just playing the game, it's not gonna go very far. Bitch, you need to clean them cobwebs, ho! Dude, not even to mention, like, the frustration aspect, because it potentially could be a zero-sum game. Like, let's say you put a lot of work into a content, and it goes absolutely nowhere. Like, the frustration that will ensue from that, like, it could be a banger video. Like, you could have edited the crap out of it. Like, you could have, like, this, that, and the third, right? But Dude, it's very possible, like, if you're a no-name, like, it just gets no traction whatsoever. Like, it's happened to me before where I'm just like, dude, this video is gonna do so well, and it just gets absolutely no viewership. The thing is, too, is, like, content creation as a whole is, like, kind of a monopoly. Because, like, the people that have made it can, like, one, obviously they have something about them that is, like, intrinsically valuable in some... Motherfucker, are you serious right now? Something about them is intrinsically valuable to whoever, like, started watching them, and that's the reason why they become popular. And because they became popular, like, it's now a career for them. It's now a full-time job. So the monopoly is that they can continue reinvesting. I don't know why I did that. They can continue reinvesting. Fuck it. Reinvesting into their brand, their image, their videos. They can make better quality videos. They can make more thought out videos. They have the free time now because they're full time. I dropped it. God damn it! You couldn't have just got hit, you motherfucker. Really? This is what we're doing. Everything special about you came out in a bottle. Oh fuck. Fuck it, I'll do it. You thought I wouldn't, bitch. Whoa! What? He fucking barfed on the ground and that was it for me? It was over? Shit. Fuck you. Ooh! Shit. Fucking stop, Brit. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, baby, let's go. Oh, what? When the new world should yield zombies? Truly, what? Trust me when I say people are trying to make it, man. Like, you know, to make it into the fighting game space and just like content creation as a whole. With that said, you know, there's a ton of oversaturation in the market, and standing out has become incredibly hard because people, like, the bar for content has been raised so dramatically over the years. You know, it kind of did start with Core A Gaming. Like, they, like, okay, like, the philosophies of fighting games are really deep, and like, how can I present that to an audience? And then, you know, people ran away with that. You know, people started doing documentaries. People started just generally upgrading their content as a whole, and like the barrier for entry is a little higher. So just playing the game isn't enough, and being nice at the game isn't enough. You need more than that. Like, there are plenty of top level players that barely have a following, man. Like, their presence on social media is non-existent, and it's almost ludicrous to think that, hey, like, I'm gonna stand out from like these amazing players, or I'm gonna be interesting in a way that they're not, or I'm gonna have knowledge in a way that they don't. You, like, if you wanna break that mold, you really have to think outside the box. Like, I have ideas. Like, every day, like, I write something down if I have an idea while I'm at work, or while I'm out and about, or while I'm walking the dog. Like, I'll write it down so I don't forget to it, so I can get to a video later. Like, with that said though, you know, as a part of people reinvesting like their brand or whatever, and them having the time is such a massive thing for me. Like, dude, like, a lot, we all have to work full-time jobs. Like, it is what it is. Like, being a content creator is a dream, and has been a dream for me for a long time. Like, if I get there, I get there. If not, I love doing it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. But dude, there's been a couple times where, because I haven't been able to get to these ideas in a timely fashion, people have made the video that I was gonna make, and they probably made it better than I could have made. Dude, I know Sajam at least like 2 or 3 times has like made a video that I was gonna make before I could, and chances are he probably had the same idea, and maybe he even thought about the topic before I did. But because he has the means to get to these things and is a full-time content creator, like, he can just snipe out those ideas whenever he wants. The reason why I feel like we all do it is because we're just so, like, violently in love with the genre. Like, dude, Tasty Steve said it the best. Like, dude, it feels like my heart's on fire for this thing. Like, these games, like, the way I play or I talk about these things. Like, dude, it feels like my heart's just lit ablaze. And, dude, yeah, I really relate to that. Like, peak Dragon Ball FighterZ, and even now, like, I still feel it. Like, just this... Like, you can't shut up about it. Yeah, man, even into the next year, like, I like the content that I've been making. Like, I enjoy listening to. I'll listen back to them, just like, oh, okay, like, could I have done this better? Like, and I'll do a little bit of review. And dude, even into the next year, dude, I like bigger and better plans for content. I want to make better content for the channel and ramp things up, you know. And that's gonna take a lot of time if I want to edit better or think about things better, you know, present things in a better way. It's gonna take time and a lot of work, but I enjoy it, so that's why I do it. Ah, nice, good DP. Oh, the lag, bro. Bro's kicking the router. Oh my god, dude, it's over. Nice. Bro just started fucking beating the shit out of his router last second. He's like, he's not gonna tech this shit. Get ready. He's gonna get hit one way or another, motherfucker. But yeah, man, if you genuinely want to make content in the fighting game space, like, go for it. Like, no one's going to do it for you. Like, there's plenty of people that I know that say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start streaming anytime, or like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about making YouTube videos. And like, dude, I encourage it. Go for it. If you have something valuable to bring to the table, by all means, put yourself out there. No one's gonna do it for you, but so many of those people, just as many of those people, like intermediary stuff in their way before they actually get started. You know, it's like the constant, it's the perpetual like, oh yeah, man, before I start streaming, like, gotta get my lighting situation, or like, dude, I need some posters, bro. I gotta get a new webcam. I gotta fucking, you know, I gotta take my fish for a walk. You guys know what it is. Like, it's just constantly, you're putting these constant barriers before you actually get cracking. You know, it's the same thing for getting into fighting games. Like, I've heard so many times, like, people's like, oh yeah, like, I wouldn't mind giving fighting games a try, but I'd want to get a stick, you know? I'm like, oh, well, you don't even know if you like the genre yet. But at the end of the day, if you feel like you have something valuable, put it out there. Hope it works out for you. Hope for me as well, man. I need all the support I can get, bro. I don't even, yeah. I'm still on my way, bro. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want to see more, check out the rest of the channel. In the description, there's links to not just my channel, but my friend's channel as well. Anyways, see you guys in the next one.